Welcome to Stuffworks Explained. If you are here for the first time, please consider subscribing to this channel. In today's video, we'll be talking about the top 10 projects to watch in Ethiopia in the year 2026. As Ethiopia moves into 2026, the country stands at a critical development moment. Years of heavy public investment combined with economic reforms and regional pressures have produced a portfolio of major projects that will shape Ethiopia's growth path for the next 10 years. This project focuses on energy generation, transport connectivity, aviation, logistics, and industrial capacity. Together, they aim to address long-standing constraints, power shortages, high transport costs, limited export access, as well as rapid urbanization. The first project to look at or to watch in 2026 in Ethiopia is the Grand Renaissance Dam, or the GERD. This dam is already complete and it's now operational, and it's making a turning point in Ethiopia's energy sector. With an installed capacity of about 5,150 megawatts, it's one of the largest hydroelectric dams, if not the largest, in Africa. Construction started in 2011 and cost of approximately $5 billion, largely financed domestically. By late 2025, Ethiopia confirmed full power generation. In 2026, the focus now shifts from construction to utilization of the dam. Key priorities include grid stabilization, domestic power distribution, and electricity exports to neighboring countries such as Kenya and Sudan. The dam promises long-term energy security and export revenue. However, transmission bottlenecks as well as unresolved regional tensions over Nile water usage remain ongoing risk. The second project to watch in Ethiopia in 2026 is the Koisha hydropower project. This dam is located on the Omo River. It's Ethiopia's second largest hydropower project. It is designed to generate around 1,800 megawatts and cost approximately $2.7 billion. By early 2026, the construction was about 70% complete. Major civil works were complete and were in place, but turbines, reservoir filling, and grid integration remain outstanding. In 2026, the progress will depend heavily on financing flows and foreign exchange availability. Once completed, Koisha will significantly strengthen Ethiopia's baseload power supply. The main challenges include long timelines, high capital costs, as well as environmental and social management along the Omo basin. The third project to watch in Ethiopia is Addis Ababa Djibouti rail corridor upgrades. This railway is already complete and remains Ethiopia's most important trade corridor, handling the majority of Ethiopia's imports and exports for this country, which is landlocked. While the coal line is operational, 2026 will focus on upgrades, feeder connections, as well as efficiency improvements. This includes links to industrial parks, logistical hubs, as well as dry ports. Rail reliability, power supply stability, as well as debt servicing remain concerned. However, improved rail performance is critical for reducing transport costs as well as sustaining export growth. The fourth project to watch is Awash, Weldiya, and Northern Rail extensions. The Awash Weldiya Rail or Railway is part of Ethiopia's broader Northern Rail vision. This is under construction and is intended to link central Ethiopia to northern regions. Progress has been uneven due to financing constraints, security disruption in the past years. In 2026, the focus will now be restarting stalled works as well as resolving contractor disputes. Longer-term plans include extending rail access toward Red Sea ports such as Tajijura, Asab, and Massawa, reducing Ethiopia's reliance on a single maritime corridor. Bishoftu International Airport is the fifth project to watch in Ethiopia in 2026. This is a planned international airport, which is among the most ambitious aviation projects in the continent of Africa. Planned to eventually handle up to 110 million passengers annually, it is designed to replace capacity-constrained Bole International Airport. Estimated cost range from 8 to 10 billion US. Financing discussions involve African Development Bank as well as other partners. In 2026, the project remains in early stages. Key milestones include land preparation, final design approvals, as well as financial closure. If realized, the airport would cement Ethiopia's role as continental aviation hub. The scale, cost, and long construction period remain major project risks. Sixth project to watch in 2026 is Adama Awash Expressway. Adama Awash Expressway is part of the Ethiopia's core corridor linking Addis Ababa to Djibouti. It extends the existing Addis Adama Expressway eastward. Supported by African Development Bank financing, the project aims to reduce congestion, improve road safety, as well as speed up freight movement. By 2026, the sections are expected near completion, although land acquisition and settlement issues continue to affect the timelines. Efficient road transport remains essential even as rail expands, particularly for time-sensitive cargo. Then we have Dire Dawa Free Trade Zone as the seventh project to watch in Ethiopia in 2026. The Dire Dawa Free Trade Zone is Ethiopia's first fully designed free trade zone. It sits on the Addis Ababa Djibouti corridor and integrates rail, road, and custom infrastructure. Operation since 2025 late. The zone performance in 2026 will be closely watched. Key indicators include investor uptakes, warehouse utilization, as well as trade volumes. Success of this free trade zone depends on regulatory efficiency, custom performance, as well as competitiveness relative to regional logistics hubs. Then we have industrial park and manufacture expansion as the eighth project to watch in Ethiopia in 2026. We have Ethiopia continuing to expand its network of industrial parks targeting textiles, garment, agro-processing, as well as light manufacturing. In 2026, the emphasis is less on new parks and more on improving utilization, export competitiveness, as well as energy reliability. Challenges in these include foreign exchange shortages, global demand fluctuations, as well as rising competition from lower cost producers in other regions. Then number 9, we have urban corridor and housing projects, especially in major cities in such as Addis Ababa and others. Large-scale urban development and housing programs remain central to Ethiopia's domestic infrastructure agenda, particularly in the capital city of Addis Ababa. Project focus on transport corridors, utilities, housing construction, as well as public spaces. In 2026, delivery speed and financing sustainability will be key concerns as urban population growth continues to outpace infrastructure supply. The last project, or the 10th project to watch in Ethiopia in 2026, is the long-term Red Sea access strategy that Ethiopia is approaching. Ethiopia's strategic push for diversified access to Red Sea underpins many transport and diplomatic initiatives. Rail, road, and port access discussions with neighboring countries continue, with no single project while no single project will be completed in 2026. Groundwork in feasibility studies and negotiations remain critical. Reducing dependence on one corridor is a long-term economic and geopolitical priority for Ethiopia. In conclusion, we can say that Ethiopia's project pipeline in 2026 reflects both ambition and constraints. Energy generation capacity is expanding rapidly, led by GERD and Koisha. Transport and logistic projects aim to reduce trade costs and support industrial growth. Aviation and urban investment target long-term competitiveness. However, financing pressure, execution capacity, as well as regional dynamics will determine how much of this ambition translates into measurable outcomes for the country. For Ethiopia, 2026 is less about announcement and more about converting infrastructure into economic performance. So thank you for reaching this far. If it's your first time here, please consider subscribing to this channel. Also hit the notification bell so that whenever you upload a new video, you're notified. You can also leave a comment about these projects that Ethiopia will be watching, or region will be watching. We'll be looking at in the year 2026. Thank you.